Good, glorious morning, everyone. Here it is on a beautiful, brisk Sunday morning here in Santa Monica. And I'll just turn behind so you can see where I am. On the little boardwalk, I just came from up there, the cliff. Up for my morning walk. Yesterday was a cool, rainy-ish day, which is very much welcomed in Southern California. I love the winter for that. I guess I could take this off. Anyway, so it's a beautiful day, a little brisk, but it's nice, brisk. I know I'm talking to some people who are in cold weather climates, so you're like, talk to the hand, Lisa. Anyway, my update for this week. So my last update, obviously, I was out here on the beach at the sunset over a week ago talking about my sadness and saying goodbye to my apartment of 19 years, my little special gem of a sanctuary, little studio apartment in Santa Monica here that has held me so close, carried me through nearly 2 decades. So obviously that was a big deal. And here I am a little over a week out, and life is amazing. And how we can allow ourselves to shift and to adjust and to move with life, and the peace that can come when we do, when we have the courage to let go of that which we cling to that which we think is our identity, or what we think is our world, our safety, our comfort. And when we have the courage to let go, it's like life is wanting to show us so much all the time. That's what I always feel. Like life is always wanting to show us so much, and yet we're holding on, like white knuckling it, holding on to the things that we think, oh my God, if I let this go, who am I? And I get it. Trust me, I get it. This whole journey with cancer has been all about letting go on every level possible. Letting go of Lisa. Oh, there's a little piece of glass that we need to throw away. We don't want somebody stepping on that. I've had to let go of so much of, our ego is that part of ourselves that is so identified with the world around us. Who are we in relation to the world? And that's what our ego is that identity. And man, when life is pushing us to shift, to change, to quote unquote rearrange the furniture in our life, it's like you move into a new place, or you move the furniture around, or you literally start moving if you haven't been exercising and you're starting to do an exercise program. It all feels really foreign at first. It's like, who am I? Who am I in this new situation? Who am I in these new circumstances? Who am I? And so there's an adjustment period. But man, our ego wants to hold on to all those things that it identifies with, because the ego wants to be in control. It wants to be in control. That's how we have grown accustomed to thinking we're feeling safe, is how much we can control life, how much we can manage life. If I can manage it so that nothing unexpected happens, then I'm going to be safe. When we're not really safe. We're just managing, and we're uptight, and we're stressed, and we're worried because we're all focused on controlling. And that's what our ego is. It doesn't trust in life. Our spirit that resonates from the heart, trusts life. You think of animals, we say that they have instincts, like butterflies know when to migrate, birds know when to migrate, animals know when to hibernate. And, we just think that we chalk it up for instinct, but we're instinctual beings, we're intuitive beings too, but we have been taught to be so mistrusting of life and the flow. Been taught to fear everything. And so then that's when we try and control. And, our intuition is always guiding us. If we tune in and listen, our intuition is always guiding us. You get a hunch, you get a feeling, and even a little burst of joy or inspiration. That's our intuition. And then what immediately happens is our ego, our mind, shuts it down because it says, well, that's ridiculous. That's not safe. That's not logical. That's not blah, 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 blah. And we get stuck in these ruts of ways of being based on fear, based on our ego wanting to control, to try and keep us safe. And, not to bash the ego at all. The ego is that part of ourselves in this physical world that, as little kids, when we were defenseless, the ego part of ourselves was the part that shut us down if something was too painful or whatever. It was out of survival. So we don't want to bash the ego. It's just trying to protect us. But in our adult lives, it actually can become a detriment. It's not about survival anymore. The more conscious and aware we get, of course. So anyway, getting back to my experience last week and saying goodbye, and I'm just going to be totally transparent here, because what else is there to be? The ocean's transparent, the sky's transparent, Mother Earth is transparent, animals are transparent. Humans are the ones that are all guarded and trying to hide and stuff our emotions and hide who we really are and all of this, and we wonder why there's so much angst in the world. Oh my gosh, it's not that hard. Anyway, so where was I? I don't even know. But I guess what I was saying is that, a week ago, I had a lot of tears. I was obviously grieving the loss of my apartment, but of 19 years. But on Saturday night, I moved on Friday. So Friday night, I was in my new place. Saturday night, I was in my new place, obviously. And Saturday night, I felt all of this very familiar feelings of the last 4 years. And ever since Little Miss crossed over in 2017, as you know, that shook my world. She was, we're soul companions since I was 13 and since she was a year old. For 35 years of my life, she was my rock, my anchor, my confidant, my best friend, my constant state of unconditional love. She just held the space for me. I always knew, no matter what was happening in the crazy world around me and the drama of humanity, I always knew when I was with her, it was just like drop right into my center, right into my heart, grounded me. This is who I am. All is right in the world here. That's what she was to me, to have that. No matter where I was traveling in the world, I always knew that there was this little point of focus in the form of a horse, this being that anchored me. So when she left, left her physical body, obviously. Again, I talked about rearranging the furniture. Oh my gosh. that was a big rearranging of the furniture. For me, it was like, who am I? What do I do every weekend for the last 27 years? I was with her up in the San Ynez Valley. I lived in Santa Monica during the week, and then be up there. So to have that part of that anchor in my life be gone, it was just like, whoa. I felt displaced, I felt disoriented, I didn't know where to put my feet, I didn't know where my grounding was. It was like, who is Lisa on this planet without my little miss? It was deep grieving, as you can imagine. And then, as I've said, in the last few years, there was just many subsequent losses. The loss of where I had my business for 17 years, State of the Heart Fitness, at the Lowe's in February 2019. They decided to shut down their gym to the local community, which is the community I serve. But there were just various losses. And so here I was last week experiencing all of that, those familiar feelings of, my apartment was my grounding. All of a sudden I'm in this new place. I've been put in this new place and I'm feeling familiar feelings of displacement and disorientation. And here's what I came to is that, oh my God, this is where all the tears are coming. I'm feeling all of this compounded grief. Compounded grief. It wasn't just me leaving the apartment. It was all of the tears and losses that I've had in the last 4 years. And there was something about it. I was able to talk to Gigi, my dear friend, one of my roommates, obviously now, and caretakers. I was able to talk to her about it, and I had a cathartic cry. And there's something to be said, and I've always said this, for when we can express and feel what we feel, we can heal. Truly, what we suppress is a mess. And that's the angst inside, and that's the confusion we often feel. But when we can actually allow ourselves to feel it all the way through, a lot of times we fear that if I let myself cry, if I let myself feel the grief, if I let myself feel the sadness, I'll never stop crying. And that's not the truth at all. At all. To the contrary, when we don't allow ourselves that, it just builds up like a pressure cooker. And if we don't express it, it comes out in anger and rage and sometimes violence and all of that. We don't want to get to that point, obviously. That's where my journal has always been my release of letting go of emotions. It's been my most therapeutic tool in my life, and I've been journaling since I was 12. And I have over 45 journals that I've had to move. But they carry with me, they carry all of my life's journey in them. Anyway, from feeling that, to having that cathartic cry and expressing it, I actually went to sleep a week ago Saturday with such peace, and I was able to wake up on Sunday morning, and I just had this peace about me. It was like a total shift had happened, and I decided I was going to get up and go for a walk in my new neighborhood, only 8 blocks away. But again, just you shift your perception just a little bit and it feels different. You have a new experience in life. Just by shifting our perception slightly. Anyway, so I woke up last Sunday morning and I just embraced it. I was like, okay. Closing that chapter, I get what all the tears were about. It's been about all of my grief for the last 4 years, which I totally believe contributed absolutely to the imbalance in my body that created the dis-ease that showed up in the form of cancer. And our body is the expression of what is going on within us, mentally, emotionally. And I'm going to pause it there and go into part 2. I'll be right back.